With the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 1-3 hole and the Boston Celtics one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavaliers go into Game 5 without their star Donovan Mitchell. Could they extend the series, or will the Boston Celtics again make an appearance in the East Finals? Want to find out the results? Tune in on Hardwood Smack. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you for joining us on Hardwood Smack. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo here, crossing you up here on another edition. And tonight we go into Game 5 of the Cavaliers and Celtics, where the Cavaliers not only got some devastating news on Donovan Mitchell, but also Caris LeVert. Now, you guys know that I am a advocate for good ball movement. So my comments about Caris LeVert in the last game still ring true. He's great penetrator, but you need to give the ball up. So this is what is going to make what I'm about to say even more redundant. As Darius Garland and Max Strus combined for 7 of 27 for 23 points. Where you have Marcus Morris, who was a huge surprise in this game, who shot 5 of 6 from 3, but shot he shot 10 for 13 and had 25 points. Also, Evan Mobley had a career high 33 points. And guys, I don't want to sound negative when it comes to guys like Darius Garland and Max Strus. Max Strus I've never been a big fan of because even in Miami, his shot volume is too high for a guy who's streaky at best. You know, I know people will say, keep shooting. I'm not a fan of that. To me, he's nothing more than a poor version of Klay Thompson. You're not going to get 60 out of him. And then when he's streaking, it's probably every 15 to 16 games tops.
Is that your best? That was pathetic.
And I'm just going to say there were several times within this game where the Cavaliers were within 3. They were within 5. And this decided he was going to hoist the 3. One of them, he came up completely horribly short. And the other one was, put the out of a bitch. I'm just going to say it like this. I get it. Donovan Mitchell didn't play. I get it. Caris LeVert didn't play. Nobody asked you to go one-on-one when that ain't your game. I'm sorry. A lot of people will sit there and say, oh, well, he needed to make a play. Evan Mobley was the reason you're here. Evan Mobley got you back in this game. Not you.
Dumb shit. Dumb shit. Dumb shit.
Bruh. Boston won the game, you guys. And I've got to harp on Evan Mobley because he was great. People are going to say, well, they had to pass in the ball, but he was doing a great job getting in position. As Greg Anthony alluded to, which also I got to get Greg Anthony for this. You said Mobley hadn't shot well in the series. The guy shot over 50%.
You fucking idiot.
What are you talking about?
Why don't you explain it to me?
Shut up.
The problem is that Cleveland did not force the ball into Mobley. He had a very productive. The biggest problem that Evan Mobley had in the first 2 games was his inability to stay on the court. He was in foul trouble. And when you're in foul trouble, it's hard for a team to get a gauge on you. And then on top of that, a lot of the issue that was there, they were unable to get any offensive continuity with Evan Mobley because he was on the bench. And I always say that when you start getting a feel for a game is when you start playing well. And I'm looking at this, and do I honestly I thought this was the one team that had a chance to put a hurting on Boston.
What a dumbass.
But here again, we're looking at this team and we're saying what went wrong. And I can tell you what went wrong. You're dealing with a young team that in spurts understood what they needed to do to get to that point or to climb up that mountain. But then, like every young team, they make the mistake of going away from what made them successful. And if you look at it, a lot of these games were won a lopsided. The only game that was right there, down to the wire, would have been Game 4. But then we could argue Game 5 was that way. It was almost like you saw this team throw it in after they got behind with that 2-minute mark after Mobley made that other hook shot. But I'm just going to keep it 100 with you all. You know, the Boston Celtics won the game, and they were initially supposed to. They had the better team. And I see a lot of issues that are going to hurt this team if they don't stop pounding the ball out at one-on-one. This one-on-one is going to hurt you, especially when you get to the next level of the NBA Finals. Because you're not going to get bailed out from the foul line, especially the way Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown cry for fouls. If you play the Denver Nuggets or you play the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't see the T-Wolves beating the Nuggets. I'm just going to go on record and say that, you guys. I don't see that. I know a lot of people are saying, are like jumping on that Nuggets bandwagon now, but I knew this after they went down 0-2. I had conversations with many individuals that I'm a fan of the show, and I told them I felt like the Nuggets were going to come back with a reverse sweep. They were going to win 4 straight. It was just a matter of Jamal Murray getting it together and realizing this is Joker's team. But that's neither here nor there. Boston's going to more than likely lose in the NBA Finals yet again.
Who cares?
Because here's the reality. When they're not hitting three-pointers, they get scared and they start taking it to the basket, hoping to get bailed out. It never fails. They always do what these announcers say. Attack your basket and hope the officials bail you out. And we look at it, and Horford, once again, was one of the guys that saved him. Jaylen Brown only took 9 shots. Derek White was 7 of 17, though he had 18 points, but you can tell that 3-point mystique that he had ain't there. Horford went 6 of 13 from 3-point land. You play a team like the Nuggets, you're not going to have that luxury because you're going to have to face off with Joker. Yeah. You're not going to get that kind of luxury. You're not. And, you know, you're going to have a guy on the other end that's going to be able to pound away at him, and guys like Aaron Gordon as well as Michael Porter Jr. But this is not just about what's in the future. But I see a lot of flaws in Boston. They live and die by the 3-point shot. They went 19 of 43, and there was a long streak. They went ice cold, and that was when Cleveland got close. You get a team like a Denver or a OKC or even a Dallas, they're going to hurt you because they're just as young and athletic as you are. And I've said this many times before, if all you can play is iso ball and not run it around the ring, it's not going to do you a bit of good. It's not. You have to be able to come up with some semblance of an offense. And they don't have it. People can say what they want, but I'm going to say it like this. But Joe Mazzulla has not shown me that he is a guy that can coach a defensive squad. I know he was under Ime Udoka, but to me, you would think a guy that coached under him, you would still have the same blueprint. All you did was say, hey, we're going to outshoot threes. That looks good when you're making them. But I haven't seen the same Boston Celtics team since he took over. I'm seeing a team that jacks up more threes and plays less defense. But nonetheless, it was a quality win. A win that, as Charles Barkley said, was anticipated with no Donovan Mitchell. And I'm not even going to mention the other guy because a lot of times he, just like Max Strus, can absolutely mess up a run.
It's official. You suck.
And he did it twice. And Darius Garland is not without blame, as I said. He took 3 terrible three-pointers when they were on the strike. Can't do that. Especially if you're not hitting. If it's like that game 2 you were shooting well and you take that shot, we can live with that. But you were struggling. Hell, you couldn't even make your 5-foot bankers. You missed 2 from the right side and you missed the third one from the left side. You got to learn, there are some nights it's just not falling. And you had a guy in Evan Mobley, Marcus Morris, that were absolutely brilliant. You got to eat that up. But as far as Boston goes, as I said, Al Horford had a pretty good night. He was 8 of 15, 6 of 13 from the three-point line. He had 22 points and a couple of big plays, 3 blocks. And you had Jason Tatum, who flirted with a triple-double and had 4 steals. And to say the least, Boston was without a doubt able to get to darn near every loose ball. But they had a lot of calls go their way, plays that went their way. And as I said, the many times that they've made it to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals as well as the NBA Finals, they've had a lot of fortunate breaks fall their way. And as I said, this team is beatable. I don't see them winning an NBA championship yet again, and they need to make decisions. Because yet again, they're going to fall short. That's just my take on it. But a great finish to this series. Cleveland needs to look up, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you're talking negative about Boston because we've already seen this movie before. We've already seen it. Boring. Anyway, that's going to do it for us as Boston finishes the Cleveland Cavaliers off 113-98. Hit me up on my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo, as well as going down into the comments, guys, and let me know what you think about Boston's victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. But until the next time, keep smacking away on those hardwoods.